Our next guest is one of my favorite human beings ever. And he is, of course, the man behind the legendary MyPillow that so many of our listeners rely on. And we don't go a week without hearing from them about how great it is. But he also has a great personal story, and he's told us a little bit about that before. Now he's put it in a book. What are the odds? From crack addict to CEO, Mike Lindell, back with us on What's on Your Mind. Mike, how are you?
I am great, Scott. It's been quite a week since last week when we did this pre-launch. It's been amazing.
Yeah, but speaking of that, by the way, I don't know who interviewed you, but I was down at the Mexico-U.S. border with everybody from Steve Bannon to Corey Lewandowski and David Bossie and all kinds of folks that have been around President Trump's campaign efforts. And they were jumping up and down cheering when they heard that you were going to run against Ilhan Omar, the congresswoman from Minnesota. Like, oh, Mike Lindell's getting in the race. That'd be great.
I might move to the 5th District just so I can vote for you, Mike.
Exactly right. How did that come about anyway?
Well, for one thing, I'm not in her district. Let's start there. I actually was on a big national show in D.C., and they asked me about Omar, and I said, and what I thought of her and all this, I said, it really sickens me that she doesn't back Israel, or that she's against Israel, actually. And so we went on to talk about that and what she's done, a few businesses that I know of that are near me. And then the next show I went on about 3 days later, they said, they were asking me if I'd ever considered a run for any office that wasn't against her, and I said, if God had me run for office, if I got it in prayer, I would do it in a heartbeat. Well, then another media outlet combined the two stories, and I'm actually last Thursday, I was in another state somewhere, and all of a sudden my phone started just going crazy with media outlets calling me, going, I guess you're running against Omar, huh? You're running against Omar. So I had to go on Fox and Friends and clear up the story. But it was good timing. I got to tell everybody I just moved up my my pre-sale of my book. I decided to do it that day because I was on a national platform and the great things it's going to be doing for my Lindell Recovery Network for all the addicts in the country. And so it worked out pretty good. But that's just sometimes fake news doesn't work out well, as we know.
Yeah, you were a victim of fake news. I love it. I saw you on Fox and Friends too, cleaning it up, so I knew it was fake news. Tell me a little bit about the Recovery Network you've been working on, because you've told us about that before, kind of shortly after you had this idea. I love the idea. How's it coming along?
We're really getting close, and that's why I really need help from everybody getting the pre-sale for my book, because proceeds from there are going to go to get this launched earlier. But what it is, Scott, is you're going to go to this website, and it's going to the addict. My sales pitch is to the addict, not to the families of the addicts, and getting you into secular treatment centers that don't work and all this. What I'm doing is the addict will get to my platform. They'll put in their, I'm like the tour guide, and they'll say, put in your age and what you're addicted to. And they'll put that in, and now all these stories are going to come down. We've gathered over the last 2 years thousands of these stories. So we have of all the different drugs and all the different ages. And what it is the commonality of the drug. It's not going to be people's bottoms. If an addict sees somebody goes, they see a story, I was ready to jump off a bridge. Well, the addict either says, well, I'm not ready, or I'm not that bad, or I'm way worse. So, but what everybody does is they know like if I was doing crack cocaine, I would say, you'd basically say what you didn't like about the drug. What I didn't like about crack was I had to always find baking soda. I was always peeking out windows. I was in the middle of the night going to grocery stores and buying a whole set of silverware when all I needed was a spoon. And now the addict goes, wow, they've been where I've been, but they see that all these people have been set free and they don't know how. Now I say, hey, you guys, there's your hope matches. Now here's your help. And we have vetted, Scott, 3,500 treatment centers in this country that work. They have a 70% above success rate. Incidentally, they're all the faith-based. Your Salvation Army, Teen Challenge, Union Gospels, all these amazing places that get to the root of the problem. I don't believe addiction's a disease. I believe it comes from childhood wounds, comes from trauma, comes from fatherlessness. All these things manifest into trying to fit in and trying to mask pain. And then, so the addict goes into these centers, and I say, you guys, I'm going to be waiting for you when you get out. And when they get out, I have paid mentors that so far I'm doing, but I'm going to have, I'm getting other private donors and stuff helping too. It's going to be one of the biggest employers in the country, where I'm employing these full-time mentors that in order to be a mentor, you had to have been an addict, you had to have went through a center, and you had to have Jesus. Now, these guys are $75,000 to $100,000 a year jobs, and they're going to mentor them when they come out, and I'm going to have jobs for all the addicts. And then I have an app that I developed. It's a relapse trigger app. This is really cool. So an addict that comes out, let's say his mentor hasn't went through, let's say his spouse didn't wait for him, or his kids don't like him yet, or Uncle Ray dies. Whatever that relapse trigger would be, if his mentor hadn't went through it, he just puts it in the app, and then a 24/7 call center where now the guy that's went through that and he made it through, he gets on the phone with them, and he just talks them off the ledge. It's so easy because all it is giving him hope again. And then I'm passing it out to all the churches. That's another part of it. It's massive, and it's gonna go after it right now. This isn't something. I've been developing this for 2 years. When I was there, when the president signed the opiate bill, it fits right into what his passion is, what he wants to do to just crush this opiate epidemic in the next 6 years.
In a word, it seems to me that it's hope. You're putting hope in an app. You're putting inspiration in an app. And get that spark on that commonality, so that then you can get your grips in these folks, and then have somebody go on the walk with them that's been there. It's fabulous, fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been an addict, so I know. I know what can get them there, and me being a salesman, I got passion behind this because I don't put out anything out there that I don't have passion, from my pillow to Jesus to the president, and now to help the addicts.
Do I remember right your story? By the way, the book is called "What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO." Pre-order the book so you can help this recovery network, folks, and hear a great story. We all know somebody that's been touched by this in some way, and this is a great resource to inform yourself on it. Did I hear correctly that your drug dealers, the people that were selling you drugs, were the ones that helped you get out of this mess?
Well, that was something. That was about 9 months, the spring of 2008, and what they did is I came out. It was downtown Minneapolis in the hood there, and I came out of the room, and all three of the biggest dealers were there, and that I bought drugs from, and they knew of each other, but they hadn't met each other, and they had this intervention. The one guy goes, "Mike's been up for 14 days. Everybody, we're cutting him off," and I'm trying to argue that it was only 12 days, Well, anyway, they did cut me off. Well, the last guy fell asleep about 2:30 in the morning, so I headed down the streets, and I couldn't buy crack anywhere. And I went out. I was very resourceful, but I was a complete shutout. Came back upstairs, and he's sitting up for me, and he said, "How'd that work out for you?" And I'm all upset, and he says, Give me your phone." He says, "I'm taking a picture of you for your book." He says, "You've been telling us for years, Mike, that this pillow is just a platform for God, and you're going to come back and help us all get out of this addiction and help us all, and we believe you, and and we're not going to let you die on us." So I would tell them all the time back then prophetically that I was going to come back and help them all, and now to come full circle. 2 of them work for me, by the way. They're born-again Christians, and it's just amazing to see what God's done with both my life and to be able to help all these people and give back.
And I'll never forget you telling us, "Hey, I got a call from Donald Trump. I don't know what I'm going to go see him about, but he wants to see me at Trump Tower." And you've now obviously a great friendship with the President of the United States and helped through the campaign. It's just an amazing story. So it really is. There's no other way to explain it than God put you on this journey. It's fantastic. So folks, buy the book. What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO. You got to buy this book.
Yeah, and it's MikeLindellsBook.com.
There's the website to get it, MikeLindellsBook.com. And by the way, Mike has given us the best deal ever offered on radio or TV right now for the 2-pack of MyPillow Premiums, $69.98. That's going over very well, Mike. You should know. $34.99 a pillow. Great deal. MyPillow.com, promo code Scott, or call 800-506-9028, promo code Scott. Our sea of What's on Your Mind listeners love that MyPillow. God bless you, Mike. Be safe on the book trail.
Thanks. God bless you, Scott. Yeah.